You think they know we're here? Welcome to Quest for Details, or welcome back if you've been here before. We're going on a rockhounding adventure. We're gonna go look through some gravel beds that we have not been to in a couple of years, have some beautiful red agate and possible artifacts and who knows what. So these are the surroundings. Technically you can't just step over the fences here, so the parking's actually down the road where the public bridge crosses the river, which is how you play the game in most of California, because the waterways up to the top of the thing are public, but you don't want to cross a bunch of private property. So go in at the public access spots, and then once you're on the gravel beds, stay down the gravel beds and be courteous and kind, and generally you're all good. Don't follow them where they penetrate deep into property where they're close to people's houses and all that. That's the common sense of it. You know, respect them and they'll respect your access and all that type of thing. And I just go ahead and bring a bucket and make it obvious so that they're like, nah, who's the weirdo in the creek? It's just like one of those weirdos. Look, it's one of those weirdos. So this is the setting. Beautiful outcroppings of volcanic rock and a big old gravel bed that sweeps around the corner and all that. And we'll be alternating between GoPro and beauty shots with the better camera that zooms in more on the phone. I brought a spray bottle. Instantly I'm seeing some very beautiful serpentine. And here's instantly a piece of this. It's like a sard. It's like a brown agate, but it gets red, almost fire agate. Fire agates supposedly only come from Arizona, although, you know, the line between Arizona and California is just another one of those silly ones that humans drew. So I don't know if animals and minerals generally respect our borders, but that's a debate. I don't need to debate any further than that. What we have is some agate that's red here for sure. Getting into debates anymore. So we'll call it red agate. It's definitely sard that it's on. It's definitely a colored in chalcedony of the red nature. Lots of beautiful bohonites. Possibly, yeah, we'll just bring all the beautiful gemmy greens home. Not all of them. Don't ever think that I got all the rocks in. And while a small location and a small deposit could get picked out, when you're talking about a type of rock that is found in a riverbed, number one, the riverbeds meander sometimes miles out from their current channel, all full of alluvial gravels. So the few that get picked up, you know, in a season it might be heavily hounded, and so the ones on the surface have been picked up, but it's really, really, really hard to strip one type of mineral out of a river system. I'm sure it can be done. I'm sure it's being done out there in the planet somewhere. Okay, no more of that. But yeah, it's okay to go ahead and collect all the rocks that you want and enjoy them. I invite you to. Look at all those shades of green. A note on that is that I think part of what happens sometimes, besides people, a lot of our population live now in urban zones and in areas that are heavily populated, is of what that means. And because of that, the resources there can be more depleted, and also a lot of the locations, you know, I live in the coastal range and I live far out. I actually live in the hills. I live far away from town. It takes me hours to get to the next biggest town, and so when I'm going to places, sometimes me and 12 other people in total are going to walk over these riverbeds and look for rocks. And so people always have that tendency to insert what they know. So if you know an area, you know, it's super pick clean and there's people going there all the time, it's hard for you to get there first type of thing. And then you see somebody like me and I'm far out and I'm collecting buckets of stuff and sitting around piles of it, doesn't mean that I'm the guy that got there and took all your stuff first. So peace. We're gonna see this handful go super green. And me not falling in the creek. Stop it! Yeah. Oh, wow. It's ridiculous, isn't it? These are not low surface. You'll find a lot of serpentine that's just got a little thin layer of tremolite or something growing on it. These are solid. If I cut these open, they would be these things that you're seeing going all the way through. That's the difference when we're picking them up. Okay, so that's the first handful. That's the first 5 minutes. I was so excited and I've been needing to hound so bad. So here we are. Yay! Oh wow, greenstone's name. Come on. So this one I just picked up. It is a beautiful green. Here's a piece of obsidian. May have been something at one point. May have been the big back end of a large spear that went out that way. Just because of the way it looks. But at this point it's just a piece of obsidian. Because it was left in the river. This is a little, I can't identify what it was. It's a corner or something of a tip. It's got so many secondary little conchoidal fractures on there. I guarantee you that's what it is. You can take. So, this, which looked like that when I picked it up, it's pretty light. I have an inkling that along with the silicate, there's a high level of common opal in it, but it is an agate node of the gray and clear. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and bring that home and we'll look for more. They're chalky because it also looks like the type of thing. Oh, there's a little Daruzy sparkle in there. So could be geodes out here. Type of place where a car or a motorcycle or somebody towing a boat will come down this about every hour and look over at you like, huh, okay, that's about it. Which is the zones that you'll find me hanging out in. They're not particularly the heavy tourist zones, but they are far out. I like to be far out in nature and kind of just unknown spots. Oh, there's it. These. Definitely these. Yeah, see. Oh yeah, little crevice agate, little slab of chalcedony. Sparkle, sparkle. Love the blue and the white. So those are here. We'll look for those too. Okay, besides all of the beautiful, probably some of them nephrites, the rest of them beautiful serpentines, the line between those so thin. Next gemstone looks like we're finding. Is a gob of super clear chalcedony. Again, this is a crevice agate, or to simplify it, this is just a crack in a rock that filled in with a silicate with the silicate that we know as chalcedony. And because there are some growth lines, layers where it built and built upon itself, it's an agate. It's got teeny tiny little hollow spot in the middle of it, so technically it's like a pancake geo. All great ways of describing it. Important to be able to describe it, I agree. What else can we find? There's a nice little agate. Okay, let me film what I have in my hand here. Very bizarre rocks. The other one's like cracked. It's set up like a rock for sure, 100%. And spray a couple of these. That's a green rock. This is a green rock. Look how light green that is. Possibly. It's like a very light colored bowenite. Very curious if that is like a translucent apple green when we cut that. This little piece of quartz with a hole through it. This beautiful little landscape stone. It's got really awesome highlights on it with sky portion, we'll call it. These nice red highlights on it along the top of every crest and ridge line. The total opposing light gray sky. That red is just fantastic though. It's actually come down into the terrains. Yeah, nice stuff. And then this, it's a tooth. What the heck? What kind of tooth is that? That is a long tooth. That went way down into somebody's jawline. Bizarre. Okay, see our next creature. You? Oh. Oh. What are you? Are you an agate or are you a common opal? She let me insert some beauty shots of this because, wow. That's a really far out looking creature. Beautiful. Okay. Oh, right there with the little, oh, look at the green behind it. Oh, nice green. But yeah, with a little bit of that red. Nice pure piece of blue chalcedony. Got a little petroidal mouth there on it. A little bit of that red staining. That's what we're talking about. out. These are above here is some hydrothermal vent, ancient activity, however you want to say that. Stuff that is not chalk or limestone or any of that that's white. You can't see it from here, but it's like the bubbling mud pots is what I've theorized it to be. And the things I see coming out of it very much remind me of that. Okay, there's one of the red agates that we came to find here. Beautiful. We'll slow way down and keep our eyes out. Agates. Little break from the direct sun today. Light cloud cover, which is normal for this year. We could say that. A thin band of this is that white kind of mud pot substance I was talking about that's up on the slopes above. Like a half common opal, half agate creature. That's what we're doing, is just kind of walking the grid back and forth, flipping rocks, and looking for any of the goodnesses that we prefer. To keep track of where I am, I like to do little marks like that, and when I turn around on the beach, it doesn't just all look like beach. I can see the end of where I search to. Or I'll use the bucket as a marker. You can actually see little lines beyond that. And now I need to work everything on this side of the little bush. By working, I just mean glancing around and fully surveying to make sure there isn't one huge obvious tip. Clear piece of chalcedony. Super clear. You can really tell the difference between it and quartz is the clarity and the blue of its crypto microcrystalline structure. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. There's a nice piece. Look at that. Big old gob of chalcedony. Blue. That's beautiful. Red's all bleeding down into it. Instantly start doing is looking around for others of the same. Sometimes they travel together, like all things do, in loads by weight. Piece of common opal. It's very milky, yellow into red. Real pretty patterning there. Very plasticky. Also probably pretty stable in this form. Instead of a lemon meringue, I would call this a lemon pudding. Raspberry lemon pudding, common opal. Here is our first basically whole tool. Looks like this might be the whole thing. It's definitely not randomly worked. There are a lot of retouches and secondaries on this. I have a feeling that this was just more of a random tool, a spald that came off of a bigger boulder, and then they sharpened down that edge, and the rest of it was refined just to that. You know, when you open up your utensil drawer, there are 1,000 shapes just in the knife section, let alone everything else. So all humans have that same need for many different shapes. And that as much as sometimes we just get forced into using random stuff because it's the most available sharp thing around. But I would say that's an artifact. Well, we have a mama killdeer that is trying to lead me that way and this way and that way. So I'm assuming in this fine gravel here there's a nest. They nest on the ground. So if you ever see a bird and she's looking like she's hurt, she's crawling on the ground, she's trying to get you to follow her away. So she'll get predators to follow her like a lure and lure you away from the nest. So even if you can't see it, you can generalize the area she doesn't want you in because she's risking herself to lead you away from it. So here's this big chunk of green in the bucket. We're also going to be careful where we step. But I was walking over here to look at this, which I guess is not a chalcedony. It's such a pure piece of quartz. That is pure. That's nice. We'll take that. It's okay, I don't want you to think I'm torturing animals or anything, but I needed to know where this nest was because I was nervous about it. And when she disappears, it's because she's usually gone back to it and she's being super quiet or she's watching you. I was thinking it was over here. You see her doing the dance of the wounded wing. She kind of went behind the bush and then she'll lure you on and lure you on. I'm not going to get too close to it, but it's one of the most beautiful things that you'll ever see. I don't want to freak her out. Now that we know where it is. Oh, there's Dad down there in the wind doing the same thing. I'm hurt. Just his two wings flopping around. This is their whole pride and joy. So probably the dad made the nest. We're gonna get just a little closer and then we're gonna leave them alone. Do you see that they have collected like a bowerbird all of these little colorful stones? Do you see that? And there is their little nest, and they are really close to finishing up. We're not going to go any closer, stress them out, make them abandon it, any of that, leave them alone. But now we know. So this whole area will go away from, and they'll be nice and quiet and watch. But I hope that that is capturing that, because that is beautiful. They brought in just the right amount of white stones to not only cradle them, but to make the pattern disappear. Okay, mama bird. Okay, so now we go completely away from the nest. And we also keep our eyes out. Where'd she go? She hopped off. Yeah, all of a sudden she can walk. As soon as you start getting led away, that's her thing to not, her cue to not get caught, but to keep her eyes on you. So as quick as that, it disappeared. There it is. So in between, we'll say this whole circle of bushes here is theirs. I see Dad over here. He's flopping back and forth. They're okay. They're not actually hurt. And they'll be relieved. So those are killdeer, and they're devoted parents, and they raise their young on the ground. Their young can't fly at first, and they run around looking like little puff balls with legs sticking out of them. Really cute. It's okay. And yeah, we'll give her some space. We have all this to hunt. Here's a piece of this red agate goodness. It's so dark red, it's going to be hard to show you. This white that you're seeing here passes under the layer of red, and you can see it kind of underneath there. So just beyond carnelian red. And the blue is chalcedony that's all mixed in with it. Or bluish chalcedony as opposed to the red chalcedony. To not confuse anybody. What are you? super green gemstone here. It's one of my favorite forms of chalcedony right there. A beautiful blue chalcedony, crevice agate and botryoidal form. Look at the blue of that. So this crazy material that we found on this beach, we actually ended up figuring out is you could consider it a slag. So I don't know what sort of stuff, they could have been doing lime or any other sort of kiln production stuff, charcoals or something, probably something high like lime or even metals or mercuries, I'm not sure, but there's a pile of yellow bricks upstream. And half of them are melted on the inside and they are yellow fire bricks. And we will find bricks all laying out through this whole stream bed that are half melted. So they got it really hot. And this might even itself actually be a fire brick or some of the leftover bubbly material from inside the kiln. As you slow down though, you realize there's just a lot of it here. And I've already seen some of the bricks. There's so much silicate in this stuff too. I know there were actual silicate mines around here. I'm not sure if they cooked that down. We could never figure out what they meant by silicate, but they're listed along with the mercury mines and stuff as silicate mines. The Blue Monday was the only one that we could ever find on a map, and it was Blue Monday Silicate Mine. Don't know, but that's definitely human-made slag burnt processed material. I have so much boronite gathered up again, almost a complete bucket full. It's okay, it allows me to not only gather stock, but to stay busy, stay totally occupied while I am looking for all of the other good things that are a little bit less common in these locations. That's what we're doing. Yeah. Well, this is actually hours and hours later. I've definitely getting my fill for the day. I have gone kind of silent. The caffeine has worn down, and I am quieter than the wind and the trees. And so just trying to finish up the beach. We're getting to the head of it here. Had to ditch the middle because of the not plovers, killdeer. And yeah, I think you can tell by my drawl and my tone that we are getting towards the end of the mission here. The end of the quest. Here's another one of these layered little iron stones. And I will let you know when we are at the end or we've found our next rock. So yeah, here's the end of the gravel bed, the beginning of another, and the end of this video, and the beginning of another, on another day, in another place. Maybe we'll come back. We'll go up there to those gravel beds. Maybe we'll go to some other waterway. Maybe we'll climb a mountain. Maybe we'll do some metal detecting. Ooh, last little chunk of clear chalcedony to finish it off. Maybe we'll do some river walking. Now that everything's warm, we'll just slip on our old holy shoes. Actually, all my shoes are old and holy at this point. And explore. But I hope that you will come back and join me and see what we get up to. You guys are the reason for doing this. The people that I hope to share it with. And yeah, if you're stuck along to this point, thank you. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's little estuary land out here on Pope Creek in mid-central California. Beautiful. Okay, I got a heavy bucket to carry back. Didn't bring the wheelie bob. Nope, I lied again. Here's a little milky piece of agate. Goodness. That's the stuff. Somewhere upstream and uphill of us is some cliff face that's riddled with that, or it was once. It may have been long gone in the meanderings and twistings and turnings of this river system, creek system, watershed. This may have come out of a cliff that stood above us now that has retreated all the way back to there in a valley that's just beyond this. And once it was all rock. See the thin layer there of the fire, the red. I think it's trying to tell us not to go. It's like, you should stay. Look, there's this and this. We have to go. I've already done the close. We're out of here. Some more of that same sardish looking material. That's incredible. You see this little piece of plate laying here in this gravel bed coming down from Pope Valley in Pope Creek here. You know what the cool part is? Man, I've been digging up old stuff for long enough in this valley now and putting stuff together. You know what that is? It's a piece of Etna Springs plate from Linda Struve's family, from when her and the rest of her brothers and sisters served food there because her dad had built the place. And this is a true Pope Valley relic. That right there is an Etna Springs plate. You just have to take my word for it. If you pay attention, if you subscribe and you like and you care about these details like that, it's like our biggest, oldest, shut down, abandoned historic resort that we have out here. It's a Springs resort. Besides what was the Sufi Center that was, see, it's not Maxwell, this is Walters, I believe. Several springs right off down here. This place was big in the mineral water days. But that's what that is. It's a very distinct pattern from some local history. That's a piece of Etna Springs plate right there laying in this creek. 12-20 miles away from where it used to serve 100 years ago. Okay. Yep. Thank you, Creek. Thank you, Pope Valley. Thank you, people.